Click on this timestamp in order to skip all the intro and get to the good stuff. See you in the video. Hey, before we get into the video, sorry about both Jake and Roxy's route being a little snuffly, a bit off. I was feeling odd. I wasn't feeling sick, but my sinuses were absolutely acting up. So a lot of the pauses and whatnot might be a little annoying. You may not have realized it unless, I point it out now. So, hey, at least now you know. And if you wouldn't have noticed beforehand, then I'm sorry. Anyways, right into the video. Again, apologies about all that.
Alright, welcome. We are here once again to do more Pesterquest. After last week? Yeah, right. After the last video, the last route, which was Jane's route, it was so unfathomably... it was just not good. Okay, I won't say that. Her route wasn't bad, but at the same time, they just don't know when to just, cut the word count down. Just like me, for real. Anyway, we're going on to the other guy. Volume 12. That's right, Adventure! All you wanted to do was make a new friend, and now you're running like hell from a giant white creature with two heads, each sporting a single garish eye. Kind of like a Cyclops, except it's with two of the one-eye faces, so you guess a duoclops? Whatever it is, it's angry as hell and chases you through a tangled jungle. You leap over a stand of ferns and duck under one of the big woody vines jungles always have. After befriending Jane, you asked her for the names of some of her friends. Not too many details. You made that mistake with Solix, just a little tantalizing friendship, a muse... What? What in the world is that? And a muse-boosh to get you started. Specifically, you were interested in the friend that needed her help daily. Now that sounded like some fertile ground for a relationship. You kind of regret bringing it up though, because Jane got very flustered telling you about Jake. It's clear that her friendship with this guy is the topic of some emotional turmoil. Well, who better to help it sort it out than you, everyone's friend. But instead of friendship, you're greeted by a number of ferocious white monsters. Oh no. Your garbled brain offers up that you probably pissed off this kid's Lucius, except this is Earth. Between different planets, different universes, and in the mess of timelines in your memory, you're having a hard time figuring out. You trip over a big tree root and land smack on your face in the dirt. You choke on decaying plant matter clawing at your throat, and roll over onto your back. Just in time to see the duoclops. Duo-cyclops? Wait, okay, yeah, I guess that's how you say it. About to bring down one huge foot right in your vulnerable body. Are you allowed to start over if you haven't even made a branching choice yet? You cover your eyes. Nothing happens. After a moment of Olympic-level breath-catching, you've entered a peak. The dual Cyclops is in pieces on the ground. 2 pieces. You hope the thematic resonance offered it some comfort during such a brutal end. You scramble to your feet. Your future new friend Jake must have intervened to save you. You look around for him, but there's another swoosh noise and a glint of metal. Something inhuman appears in front of the dual Cyclops' body. It's the Robo-Dirk. It's a robot, kind of a cartoony one, with shiny metal joints and big red anime sunglasses. It even has a perfectly gelled metal hairstyle. Honestly, looks pretty goofy, but it's also holding a katana and staring right at you. You think you saw something similar broken all over the floor of Equius' room. It must be a BattleBot, and you don't have the strength of your punchiest friend. We are not challenging this guy, you kidding me? To challenge Robo-Dirk? Hell no. You default to your old standby, cowering and shirking back, hands raised in the universal symbol for whoa now! Shit, no horse pun intended. For some reason, though, thought of Equius and the presence of this robot are making your brain go right to horses. Horns! Suddenly, a shot rings out behind you. It sounds so stupid that you almost don't believe it. But it's true. Who is shooting a gun at a robot? The robot makes a little startup noise and raises its katana into a ready stance. A blur of green and khaki charges out of this jungle and tackles the robot full in the stomach. It doesn't fall to the ground. Instead, it puts the kid, a human, you can see, probably this is Jake guy, into a headlock. He struggles, lashing at it with his elbow and kicking at its ankles. The robot proceeds to beat the kid up. There's no reason to describe it in detail. It's unpleasant to watch and makes you feel bad. You didn't even know there could be a polar opposite of Equius, but this kid's it. The robot is super effective against him. Damn. Jake is super effective, is super weak against metal. or steal, I should say. That's gotta suck. You have to stop it, but there's so much action for you to get. There's too much action for you to get close. Even if you could reach Jake, there's no way you can zap him out of here without bringing the BattleBot with you. Except things have been weird lately. The accepted rule of your power no longer seems so inviolable. Maybe you can just do it. You bring your eyes. You close your eyes and think really hard about bringing Jake with you. Zap! When you open your eyes, a young man standing in his bedroom. Wait, is it Jake's birthday? No. What? You shake your head in consternation. Anyway, you managed to bring Jake, and only Jake, into the house. Nice job, MSPA reader. He stands there, clutching his side and panting. Ooh. Oh. Yo, this is a banger. Of course. Well, what else would I expect from the man, the myth, the legend who makes these things? He stands there, clutching his side and panting, recovering from the robo beatdown. The guy's bedroom is still covered in movie posters. It's hard to even see the shape of the walls. The floor is littered with weaponry. A lot of the kids you've met live like this, basically lounging around in piles of detritus pertaining to their character-defining interest. Anyway, it's clear to anyone who sees this room that he absolutely fucking loves movies and guns. You don't need to waste any time on an exposition here. Jesus, crazy! You alright over there, my chromatically challenged chappie? You're fine. Jake is the one who seems hurt. Never really did a number on him. I'll say. Confounded thing practically never doesn't do a number on me. It does so many numbers, it's one short of standing ovation down on Broadway Avenue. I'm just glad I could be there to help. You know, life is always just a smidgen easier with a bro's helping hand firmly placed in your behind. With a friend behind you is what I meant to say. Oh, sure. Jake doesn't really seem fazed by any of this. Not the alien monsters on his island, not your presence, and not his ungainly defeat at the hands of the anime robot. Not even by you teleporting him around. Well, sure, my good buddy Jane told me you might drop by. And honestly, I've been chopping at the proverbial bit to meet you, old fella, me lad. I'm sure Janie showed up at you at a good time, and she's a stand-up host, a top-notch friendo, an absolute wonder wench, and no doubt about it. But gosh, I've just been so gung-ho to show a brand new personage around the old digs. Get it? I live in a ruined temple, so it's literally digs! Nudges you with meaningful elbow and gives you a hearty raising of the eyebrows. Did he just say that out loud? He did. Well, here you are, ready to be shown around the ruined temple. Where to first? Oh, haha, let's not actually go there. You know I'm no stranger to danger, but there's nothing like a man's familiar four walls to give him a feeling of peace and quietude. We better hide out for a bit, just a tactical withdrawal, whilst my robo buddy and the usual monster menagerie are out and about. Right, the monsters. You can't help but notice that this is the same island where Jade lived, but instead of the one big white creature custodian like Beck, Jake has lots. Trying to be culturally sensitive, you tell him that it must have been nice to have such a big family. Jake looks perplexed. I reckon it must be nice. Can't say I've ever had one, though. If family's what you're looking for, you could have picked a worse place to mount your search. There's about as much familial spirit in my locale as cows in a cornfield, which is to say there's simply none to be seen. Oh shit, you misinterpreted things. So Jake just lives here alone? It must be so hard. I'll say, as another of my friends could tell you, there's nothing worse than being a teen stranded alone in the middle of a Pacific Ocean. My grandma used to live here with me, but she died long ago. You think of your friend John, or rather his corpse, standing ceremoniously in Jane's living room. Same house, similar kids, same island, mysterious dead grandma. It's not hard to put two and two together and come up with your dead friend Jade. It's a gut punch, even though the inexorable passage of time means that of course you could zap to the future and visit time periods where all your friends are dead if you wanted. Why would you want that? Exactly, if you can... By the way, loud-ass music. Good music, loud though. Where all your friends are dead if you wanted. You guess that's kind of what you did to your old friends by skipping forward so many years in Alternia. Wow, you're kind of starting to hyperventilate about this. You focus hard on Jake, trying to pull yourself together. Luckily, he doesn't seem to have noticed anything is wrong with you. Jake seems like the kind of person who doesn't have room in his head to talk and notice of other people at the same time. But I try not to complain. After all, things could be worse. I have all the cans a boy could ever want to cookalize. I get to romp in a pumpkin patch to my heart's delight. Plus, the island's the perfect setting for one of the coolest things in the world. That's right, adventure! The thrill of discovery, the frenzy of the battle. It is the most fulfilling diversion of them all. Why, no boy of sound disposition could feel sad about his perpetual isolation and the deadness attributes of his family members when the whole dark and teeming jungle is available for his dauntless exploration. Is that Really? What he thinks? You can't help but remember about 30 seconds ago where Jake said he didn't want to go out into the ruins. You've no problem. You're no problem, Sleuth. But Jake's room looks pretty lived in, not to mention the quantity of movie consumption suggested by its decor. You're about to respond when there's a horrendous clatter from down below. Jake freezes, a small animal caught in headlights. You suspect the headlights are that of red anime glasses variety. Oh, fuck buttons. The metal maverick makes his return. Listen, you look like a rum customer with a primal getaway sticks. Fleeing is probably our best option here. You don't get it. The last guy who you knew who made a habit of consorting with BattleBots always bested them handily. Why would Jake make something he couldn't beat? Whoa! Jumping Jehoshaphat! I'm touched by your high opinion of my robotics know-how. No, I did not make my robot, my best buddy did. He's a genuine whiz with the tech of all kinds, and a real thoughtful guy, even though sometimes I wish he would apply some of that big brain box to help me out just a touch more. He could be here himself because of the physical limitation. He couldn't be here himself because of the physical limitation of time and space, so he sent the robot to train me. It's really nice if you think about it. I mean, at first I thought it was somewhat overbearing and unnecessary, but after Dirk explained it to me, I got that it was his way of being nice. I wonder. His best friend sounds. That's what I'm saying. Not everyone is as lucky to have 3 stalwart compadres to brighten their day when they live alone on a murder island. When you think about it, I'm just about the luckiest gent who ever was stranded on the Pacific with a passel of ferocious monsters and a killer robot. You guess Jake could say something like that, if that someone was Jake? Another harsh sound from below reminds you of the urgency of the situation. You could easily teleport the two of you out of here, but, well... The creepy biotech chittering noise of drones still echoes in your memories. You've had some bad experiences trying to escape a killer robot with its eyes set on a friend. The escape via teleportation seems like a temporary solution at best. Sooner or later, Jake's probably gonna have to face the robot. Is there some way the two of you acting together can take it down? You don't understand. He learns from your actions. Anytime I've even started to get the jump on that dad-burned chrome ass sucker, it's just turned around and given itself a thorough school feeding of the topic of kicking my sweet Bippy. If we fight it together, it'll learn how to fight 2 people, and then when you leave me all by my lonesome, I'll be up shit creek with nary a paddle to be found. It's like that robot is The Incredibles. It's like that robot in The Incredibles. Oh, lovely movie. Great movie. I'm so glad they referenced it, so I get to gush about how amazing The Incredibles movie is. What a great movie. I love that movie so much. Anyway, it's the best fucking Disney Pixar film of my childhood. I fucking love Incredibles so much. Except instead of being an absolutely fantastic work, that's what I'm saying, my boy! I love Jake. I'm not a Jake Kinney. No, I'm not gonna go that far, but I think it's the Paige in me that kind of is like, brother. Hell yeah. Jake is somewhat base. Instead of being an absolutely fantastic work of cinematic art, it's my real life. Jeezums, creasums. Jake's friend is among the worst gift givers you've ever seen. There's just one thing we can do if a hasty retreat isn't what tickles your biscuit. If we could find a way to turn on novice mode, it'll be easier to deal with. I usually don't do it, but I'd hate to subject the guest to the violent vicissitudes of a robotic rascal. I just can't remember how it's done. Oh, okay, so at least his friend included an easy mode. You were starting to think this guy was one of those gamers who thought easy mode cheapened the experience. But if he designed the thing with a novice mode, maybe he can remind Jake how to trigger it? Well, I have to admit, you've really put your achromatic digit right on the crux of the matter there, amigo. Strider's a bang-up bro, and I wouldn't utter a word against him, but he doesn't really like to offer help. I imagine he'll think it's my fault for forgetting in the first place, and he probably won't want to give me the answer because I won't learn the lesson I shouldn't be so forgetful. Wow, okay, you're starting to form some tentative opinions about this Strider guy. That said, buddy-o, I think you stumbled onto quite this slick solution to our woes. There's no shame in a brave adventurer asking for help. He's well and truly fucked. Maybe we can find someone willing to offer us their casa at a temporary abode? Oh, sure, you can do that. Maybe Jake can message Jane. Although, now that you think about it, given how Jane talked about Jake when you were there, it seems cruel to spring something like this on her with so little time to prepare. You don't want to fluster her too badly. God knows. When those two are in the same room together, it doesn't end well. You quickly backpedal, telling Jake that Jane seemed too busy when you were there last. Is anyone else? Well, Roxy's probably zozzled by now. Zozzled? You know, pie-eyed, on the toot, trying one on, deep in the giggle water, 3 sheets of the cold nor'easter. Oh, wait, she's drunk? Bingo was his name-o. So this is a common thing, and she's Jake's age. You don't want to make any assumptions, but that sounds, well, concerning. That's because it is. It was an entire plot point. Don't underage drink, people. And also, familiar? You remember what's feeling was like a long time ago, helping a girl symbolically trash her mother's liquor collection. Of course, alcoholism isn't that rare, but still, you're starting to feel like there's something strange about all these convergent circumstances. Anyway, is Jake sure his friend's okay? Bosssaw Wolf. Oh, no, it's nothing like that. Roxy's just a fun and wacky gal, haha. She sure dabbles in the devil's drink, but she always seems to be having such a good time. I wouldn't want to take any unfair assumptions about it. Somehow, this fails to make you feel any better. I guess asking Strider for help is our only option. Ugh, I just know he's going to be a complete pain in the keister about it. I'll have to butter him up like a morning muffin. Are you any good at manners or persuasion? Yikes. You want to understand where this kid's coming from, but you are reaching your limits here. Is that really all the friendships Jake has? If so, that's bleak. There's certainly some kind of feelings-based train wreck on the horizon for him and Jane. Yes, there is, and it is up to us to stop it. So let's fucking stop it, aye? Ay. I love that the game is just like, oh yeah, things are gonna hit a shit creek, a shit plateau at some point, and it's gonna go downhill really fucking fast. So unless you can stop it, or maybe we can't stop it, who knows? Oh boy, love that. Horizon for him and Jane. His friend Roxy's obviously having a crisis that Jake pretends not to see, and his friendship with Strider has more red flags than the People's Republic of China. Is this what Jake is willing to put up with? Just for companionship? He just pretends he doesn't see the huge issues in his friendships to keep the peace? I mean, I think original Homestuck was like, oh, he acts like he doesn't, or he just straight up doesn't. It's kind of one or the other, unfortunately. It kind of goes between one and the other, but I would love to think that he notices it, but he's just not equipped for it. He doesn't know what to say. He's just a dude in a fucking in ruins. What is he gonna do, to help the situation other than just be there for them when he can? Admittedly, his inexperience is shown, but at the same time, how do you help this? How do you do any of this? Again, I'm trying to sympathize with Jake because, Page brothers and all that, but whatever. I'm not gonna dig my hole any further. See, it's just his friendships keep the peace? Is this what it looks like when someone is so indiscriminately hungry for affection that they're willing to go along with anything to get it? You've had about enough. You tell Jake you can't stand this anymore. Ain't a burger window on it. This life that he has, it's not good. Not even close. He lost his family and he's scared to leave his house. His only company in real life is a robot that's programmed to hurt him, and he thinks it was a gift. He seems unwilling to face the glaring flaws in his closest relationships. And all of this might be hard and sad, but it can't be helping Jake to be so deep in denial about it. He can't just cover this all up with cavalier optimism. There's no way that's the best way for him to live. You understand that it must be scary when there seems to be structural flaws in every one of Jake's support pillars, but addressing them is the only way of anything that can get better, because this hiding out in his room all alone and just pretending he has the support he needs is not sustainable. You don't say this part, but if he keeps going along with the other people want him to be, you're scared for what's going to happen to him as he grows up. That can't lead to anywhere good. After your rant, Jake stares at you, aghast. You start to feel bad. Yes, he probably needed to hear those things, but you could have guided him more gently. You're usually an expert at encouraging people slowly towards emotional growth, but this kid really got under your skin. But then, Jake's face crumples. You're absolutely right. Oh. I am lying to myself. I annotate the image of myself as some brave adventurer, but I don't go out into the ruins unless I have to. And I suppose on some level I have suspected that things with Jane and Roxy and Dirk weren't exactly Jake. Wait, what? Oh, it's like a word that means good. It's just plain English. Jake English. Anyway, I guess I didn't really realize how serious it was or how much I really was ignoring. Jeez, fucking Willikers. It's not easy to hear that all this came across loud and clear to a complete stranger. It really makes me feel low. But I guess for a truly brave gentleman, the only thing to do is to try to do better from here on out. It's scary, but I do want to be the kind of person who is an honest and forthright. A real hero. If I'm not doing that, then I need to figure out how to do that. Holy smokes. You really opened my eyes, whoever, mystery friend. You really got a knack for spotting problems. Do you think you could stick around and help me do better? It's like asking the sun if it minds shining, helping people confront their buried issues and come out of it changed for the better? Ha! Well, that's the very thing you've desperately latched onto to give you life for some kind of purpose. But something about this feels off. Was your rant really all it took to turn things around for Jake? Did you really just fix him? Doesn't seem right. Definitely not good pacing, anyway. Jake looks at you with the big green puppy dog eyes. You have to make a choice. The choice. We must choose.